Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Ray Sports News and Debates. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about we're gonna talk about what we're doing in the NBA. You know, let's get first things first started. There have been two recent firings in the NBA. Okay, we're gonna talk about the one that happened, a couple weeks ago, and then we're gonna talk about the one that happened today. So if you haven't heard, Memphis obviously released their head coach. Jenkins had the most wins in Memphis Grizzlies history. They were a playoff team the last, the previous 4 years. Yet they missed a lot of this, the season, due to Ja being out with his, suspension and everything. He missed 25 games last season. You're a playoff team every year, and I get if you can't get over the hump, you gotta let a coach go. I don't understand the whole locker room thing. I get it's a team unity thing, and the players are coming together, okay? But hey, we've all had a boss, we've all had a coach that we don't really like playing for or working for, but hey, we gotta suck it up and we gotta get the job done, right? Okay? And the thing that irritates me about NBA players now is that if they don't like a coach, like, okay, hey, let's just suck, okay, for a week or two, and we just won't listen to him anymore, blah, 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 that they'll get him out. Okay, that's what a lot of teams in the NBA do now. Okay, which I think is a shame because there are thousands and thousands of players out there who would kill to be in your position to play in the NBA for any coach, let alone one they like or they don't dislike. But with Jenkins, it's 9 games left in the season. Like, you're fighting for a playoff spot. Okay, for a play-in spot. There's a chance you could slip from 4 to 7 in a day in the Western Conference. That's how tight it is from 4 to about 8. Okay, Sacramento and Dallas, they're going to be your 9 and 10 seeds. Okay, but if the team hadn't made the postseason in like 2 or 3 years, okay, get rid of the coach. I could understand. I don't want anyone to lose their job, but I can understand. Okay, you make the playoffs your first year, you don't the next 3 years, okay, could see you losing your job. Like I said, don't want anyone to lose their job, but hey, I could see it happening. But Memphis was a good upcoming team. Okay, I know they got rid of Marcus Smart, who wasn't really helping the offense. You got rid of Dylan Brooks, who was supposedly the problem, but that boy we'll give Dylan Brooks credit. Houston is a great, great, solid team this year. Probably going to be your number 2 seed unless shit hits the fan. Okay? But nonetheless, Memphis was a good team. A good team. You got Triple J, Jared Jackson Jr., you got John Morant, you got Desmond Bane, you got all these pieces going together. Okay? That's a tough 3 to beat. In a 7-game series, that team's going to be a hard out. Okay, but you take out your head coach who's built a culture there for 4 or 5 years. Okay, now you essentially got to start over. Yes, his assistant took over. I assume, I know the players know the assistant. Blah blah blah. Okay, but the whole dynamic, of a team spirit could make or break on this decision. Okay. And with 9 games left, okay, he's got to pretty much accentuate his coaching style, his starters. Hey, this is how we're going to do it. This is the offense we're going to run, the defense to run. And you're in the last 2 weeks of the season fighting for a playoff spot. So you're completely changing your team around. Again, and I get, writing was on the wall. He was like, hey, you got to fire your whole staff. So, he let go of his whole staff, and Memphis gave him a new staff, and it just wasn't working out. Okay, like that. But with 9 games left? Really? 9 games? You could have done it with 50 games, 60 games left in the NBA season. They have 82 games if you don't know. But halfway through the season, 20 games into the season, not with 9 games left. What sense does that make to let your head coach go with 9 games left? At that point, you might as well finish it out at that point and just, you don't make it, okay, you let him go. Okay, you let him go at the end of the season, and you promote, his head assistant, right? Completely get that. Okay. But I disagree. With 9 games left, I think it's a bad move. I think it makes your organization look terrible. The fact that you couldn't even give that coach the honor of finishing out the season. But anyways, going on to the other firing happened today. The Denver Nuggets have officially fired Michael Malone. And this one, more than Memphis, really kind of boggles my mind. You can't even tell me a good Nuggets team that's come across in the last 25 years outside of the last 4 seasons. Okay? You probably have to go back to when Melo and AI were playing with the Nuggets. And that was late 2000s. Okay? But literally, this coach, Michael Malone, won you an NBA championship 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he brought you an NBA championship. Okay, and I get it. He has Nikola Jokic, a 2-time, NBA MVP, NBA Finals MVP. You have Jamal Murray, who's been an All-Star. You have Aaron Gordon. You have Michael Porter Jr. You have Christian Bond. They took a chance on getting Westbrook this year, which, by the way, good luck with that. From past experiences with the Lakers, good luck with that. Anywho, you fire a guy who brought you a championship 2 years ago with 3 games left in the regular season when you're fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. You understand how bad that makes your organization look? You don't even have the respect to let that head coach finish out the season? Really? When he brought you an NBA championship a couple years ago? When you have been a contender every season for the past 4 years, and you were even good. I would have put them in my top 5 of teams that could win the championship this year. They probably would have been number 5. Lakers would have been 4, Cavs 3, OKC 2, Boston 1. But they were a contender every year for the past 4 years. And you're going to let them go with 3 games left? What sense does that make? Michael Malone is a great head coach. Okay? And he's knocked my boys, the Los Angeles Lakers, out of the playoffs literally the past 2 seasons. Okay? But I still have respect for him in the sense of he is a great head coach who brought a championship to Denver, for the first time in, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Okay, probably a lot longer than that. And you're just going to let him go with 3 games left? You don't have the respect for him? You don't have the admiration to at least be behind him until the end of the season? Really, Denver? That's what we're doing? That's how you treat your coaches? I wouldn't want that job. No, I mean, if it was the only job out there in the NBA, obviously I'm not stupid. I'm going to take it. But, this should be a sign to everybody in the NBA. If you're a coach or if you're in a, it doesn't matter what you do last year or the year before that. Okay. Yes, the Nuggets were underperforming a little bit this season, but they were still going to be a top 6 seed and stay out of the play-in tournament this year. Now they're probably going to be in the play-in tournament. Okay. Because you got to turn your momentum around real quick with 3 games left. Okay. You basically got to win out and hope, 2 out of these, 4 teams that you're tied with and that you've lost all the tiebreakers to lose at least a game or 2. But just to not have the respect to finish out the season with a guy who brought you a championship a couple years ago, I said it makes Memphis look terrible. It makes you look even worse. The fact that he brought a chip to your city within the last 3 years, brought you a championship. And this is how you pay homage to him? This is how you pay respect to him? By firing him with 3 games left? That's just terrible. Now, I haven't looked, in the reasons, like why and, and this and that, but regardless of the reasons, finish out the season with your coaches, man. I get if you fire them halfway through the season, you don't like where the team's going, okay. But we're firing coaches with 9 games left, with 3 games, left. Like, what are we doing? This is just, it's a bad look for the league, and really, it's more of a bad look for these organizations. Memphis Grizzlies, Denver Nuggets, shame on you. Y'all are terrible organizations. Okay, wouldn't want to be associated with you at all based on how you treat these great coaches in the NBA. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Like I said, just to kind of wrap it up, Memphis Grizzlies released their head coach with about 9 games left in the season. Denver made it worse. They fired their head coach with 3 games left in the season. Both teams which are in a very, very tight race for the guaranteed playoff spots, which are 1 through 6. If you finish 7th or 8th or 9th, you are in the play-in tournament, and you got to, fight your way into being, a 7 or an 8 seed. Okay, and good luck to the person that draws OKC first round. But I mean, it's just a bad look, guys. I mean, for the NBA, for these teams, for the organizations and everything, guys. I hope we can change this culture around and just give these coaches the respect of finishing the season. Okay, if you're not gonna fire them by the halfway point, you might as well ride it out. Because I don't know what 9 games is going to change. I don't know what 3 games is going to change. Okay? But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button to the channel today as we are trying to reach our goal of 500 subscribers on the channel. Let me know your thoughts below on the recent firings of the Memphis Grizzlies head coach and Denver's coach, Michael Malone. I texted one of my really good friends, Corey, because he's a Nuggets fan, about why? What do we do? What are y'all doing? I mean, we went through the Byron Scott era. We were terrible for 2-3 years in a row, and it was one of Kobe's last years, and the Lakers stuck it out with him. Okay, no matter how bad we were, they stuck it out. But like I said, comment below what your thoughts are immediately on the reactions of these 2 firings. What do you think Denver and Memphis are going to do in the postseason this year? Because both of them are going to make the playoffs. But as always, guys, thank you guys so much for the love and support to the channel. It really means a lot to me. I've been working a lot. I had an injury, happen to my wrist. And I'm trying to get it figured out. So I've been working a lot, trying to save up money to get some CTs, to get a CT done. But again, thank you guys so much for the love and support for the channel, and the podcast and everything, guys. And until next time, you guys have a good one.